welcome to Dino's channel. Feels good to be back. It's been a long time since I've made a video. Tonight I'm drinking a Hefeweizens by Sam Adams in this sweat box. I apologize for the environment. I'm in my camper. I love the house. Here's a picture of it. Love the house. Got a pool and everything, but I can't really do this kind of stuff inside the house. There's just not enough room and I'll wake the kids up. This job has me moving around. We're in Georgia. So I got the slide out clothes and it's like 100 degrees in here. It's a sweat box. I got the cover on it so I don't want to run the air. The reason that I've brought you here today, I feel that I have to do this. I feel obligated. A 1-year review of the DJI Mavic Pro. I've been flying this guy for a year now and I have a lot to say about it. This is not going to be a very technical review. It's going to be more so for the customer who's just looking to buy a Mavic Pro and just looking for information on whether they should make that purchase or not. First of all, let's talk about price. So I got this a year ago off of Amazon.com. I think I got it for $980 at the time, and it was just the basic package. Came with one battery, one remote. I actually did an unboxing of it. Pretty much what you see here, along with the charger. Now I think they can get it for a little bit cheaper. I've seen a lot of deals for like $750, between $750 and $800. It's worth every penny. I don't want to say that I would pay more for it. But I think it's worth every penny, and I'm not going to complain. You know, if I crash this thing, I've got to spend another grand on it. I have, I think, over 150 flights, something like that. I've put this thing up 150 times, drained the battery 150 times. I've got 3 intelligent batteries that I've gone through. I say gone through, I've still got them. But I've charged each of these, I think, 45 times or so. And they don't seem to be losing their charge at all. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. I've never crashed the Mavic Pro, not one time. I am by no means a professional. I don't do this for a full-time job. It's just strictly a hobby of mine. I'm sorry, I had to take the cover off and I had to get that air conditioning running because I was dying. But I was able to grab another beer, Sam Adams Summer Ale. Pretty good. Adjust the camera position. It's all good things, right? Alright, so where were we? We just finished up with price. Price is great. Let's move on to really why I bought this thing. You know, I had aspirations of starting an aerial photography company. Probably should have went with the Phantom 4 Pro. Wrong. I'm happy that I went with this. This is why I bought this thing. I wanted to be able to travel and put this thing in my backpack if I had to. I've brought this to other countries, Lithuania, Germany, Finland. I've flown it in Germany and Lithuania. And it's fantastic. The fact that this is able to fold up into something the size of my hand is honestly worth a lot to me. Range. Something I want to talk about is range. I've seen some people do some pretty crazy things with this. They put on, you know, range extenders and all that. I have never done a thing to this. Everything is stock. The furthest I've had this thing out was almost 4 miles. And it was at a very remote lake. But I typically fly in very, very congested areas. There's a lot of interference, Wi-Fi, you know, cell towers, all kinds of crap, power lines, you name it. So really about 1.5 miles is probably the range that I would give this thing to be solid. I mean, don't get me wrong. OcuSync technology is fantastic, and it is clear, even with strong interference, for up to about 1 mile. And that's probably what I would give it, 1 mile, 1.5 miles. But I have had it up to about 4 miles before at a lake in the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin. So we'll move on to the next thing. The camera. My God, this camera is amazing. The fact that you have a 4K camera with a 3-axis gimbal on this drone that's this size, and look at how tiny this camera is. I mean, it's like smaller than my thumb, you know, weird comparison right there. But the camera is fantastic. Without even going into the details and all the settings that you can do, the camera quality is great. We've covered range, we've covered price, we've covered portability. Now let's move into the battery life. I am very satisfied with this battery life. I get about 28 minutes. So I factor I can get about 75 to 80 minutes of comfortable flight through 3 batteries. And these intelligent batteries are great. You don't think it's a big deal to be able to push a button and see what kind of battery levels you have. But it's very, very convenient without having to plug it into the drone itself. You can just tell, you know, what your battery life is at. And like I said, I probably have 45 charges on each of these batteries, the 3 batteries that I have. And I don't see any diminished cells. I don't see any diminished time. I'm still able to always get close to that 30-minute mark on a fully charged battery. One thing I do have to say that is kind of a pain, and I'm pretty sure it's consistent with all batteries, is that I'll charge them all, and I won't fly for, let's say, 3 weeks. And it's happened. There's been 3 weeks where I haven't flown. Surprise, surprise. And this is an example of it. I charged this completely, and the battery just seems to die all on its own. So I'll plug it in, you know, and this has happened to me so many times where I've gone out and I've really, you know, depended on these 3 batteries, and I get out to where I'm going to fly. 50% battery. I'll have 3 batteries that are at 50%, even though I just charged them a few weeks ago. So that is something that is somewhat annoying to me. You know, it's awesome. It's fantastic. These intelligent batteries are great overall. A lot of people like to talk about durability with this thing, and for something that is built so well, I have no doubt that everybody who has stated this thing is like it's like bulletproof, man. Like they've crashed it. I have no doubt. I have never crashed this drone ever. I've made a rough landing one time, and it was funny enough. It was the last flight that I had. I was getting some footage of me on a jet ski to use an active track. And I saw the LEDs were like just solid red, which, you know, that means that you're not recording, because if you're recording, it is blinking red. Solid red, so I picked up the controller and I had like 10% battery, and I was like almost a mile away from where the dock was. Haven't made that mistake before, so I put it into sport mode and just flew this thing back, and I made a crash landing on the roof of my car. There was no damage. I was able to land. One thing that did happen, one of the arms was in, so that means it had to hit, folded the arm, no big deal. But there was virtually no damage on this thing. So as far as durability, I would say that this is pretty awesome. I have not taken these off one time. These are the original rotors or props that came on the day that I bought it, and I haven't taken them off one time. Haven't had the need to. I mean, there's like 0 scratches. I mean, and I've flown this thing over 150 times. It's pretty incredible. For people that talk about, you know, the engines wear out, you know, you got to grease them up and stuff. I think that's a little ridiculous, you know. And I am not lying to you. I have nothing to prove. But I've flown this over 150 times. If I had any cons or anything negative to say about this thing, is that it is sensitive to heat. Now, this has happened to me a few times. You know, I'm originally from Minnesota, the Wisconsin area. However, because of my job, I'm always in the South, bouncing between Tennessee and Georgia. 3 times actually. I've gone to fly this thing after I've had it set on the ground, messed with all the settings, updated the home point, updated the camera settings, and the gimbal will start acting a fool. Like, it will start turning on its own, going to the side. If I have any footage, I'll throw it on right now. But if I don't, just trust me when I say that it's like the gimbal is just off. It not only is like tilted horizon, but but it tries to correct itself, so it's doing this thing and it's going all over the place, and it's virtually unusable. I mean, for footage, it is virtually unusable, and that's happened to me 3 times. And the 3 times, everything that I had in common with what I was doing was the temperature. It was well over 90. It was on the concrete for a while. And I think it was overheating. I had no warnings whatsoever. All the telemetry was normal. Wasn't reading anything, you know, on the phone from the remote. And it was weird. I had to stop flying. I stopped flying, brought it in, you know, ceased all flight operations for that day. Brought it in, you know, to the house, let it cool down, readjusted the gimbal, oriented the compass, and everything was good to go. I mean, it's still good to go, but it was weird those 3 times. I was like, man, I've got some issues with this. And I wasn't even mad because I've flown this thing so many times. Another thing that I want to bring up is a contest that I won using this drone. So I was on Reddit, and I don't even know how I came across it, but there was some kind of... It was a DJI affiliate contest. I freaking won. And I didn't even really edit the footage. I just was in a beautiful area in Alexandria Bay, up in New York there. Here's some footage of it. And I won, and I'll show you in a little bit. You'll see it'll say, you know, first place, beaten C, or beaten aerial photography. And it was pretty awesome. I got first place. I got a 50% off coupon. I was able to get a DJI Spark, the Fly More combo package, valued at like $600 and something. I was able to get it for like under $300. It's pretty awesome. And it was all because of this drone. It's not because I'm good at flying, not because I know the angles to fly, not because I know the settings on the camera. It does everything all by itself, pretty much. And I'm pretty enthusiastic about that. So yeah, I won a contest. Alright, so something else I want to talk about. My recommendations for anything that you're going to get to supplement the basic boxed items that you'll get. Obviously, batteries. It comes with 1 battery. I bought 2 extra. So make sure that you have a minimum of 2 batteries, and if you're doing any kind of professional aerial photography with this platform, I would get 3 or 4 minimum. Beyond batteries, check these out. VR, I believe they're called ShineCon virtual reality glasses. The new technology experience. Now these are amazing. Why? Because you can put your phone directly into here, close it up, hardwire your phone directly to the remote. There's a port on the back right here. I don't know if you can see that. It's a USB. I'm telling you, this is awesome. These are like $9 or something crazy on Amazon. For $9, I'm able to move my head around, and wherever I move my head, this camera moves. If I'm looking down, this camera's going to look down. It's pretty fantastic. And the app that you need to do that, I mean, that's not organic to the DJI Go app. The app that I use, I think it was like $9. It is Drone VR. I'll pull it up so you can see it. Drone VR. $9 app, works very well. And this is just for FPV flying. I mean, if you're an FPV person or not, I mean, $9, $18 for under $20, you're able to literally fly like a bird. It's pretty awesome. Fly like an eagle to the sea. I've done a lot of flights like that. Whenever I move to a new place, I love to see the neighborhood, so I'll just throw it up, have a spotter, and then I'll be able to look around, and it's fantastic. It's awesome. moving on to another random subject is the compatibility of a cell phone with the controller. Now, I've heard a lot of horror stories with Android phones. Nothing against Android phones, but I have had zero issues using my iPhone 7 Plus with this drone. The storage is sufficient. There's just no issues. I've never had the app crash on me. I've never had any issues. I take that back. I think one time it may have crashed when I first got it. And I just opened that back up and it was fine. Drone didn't do anything crazy. It just stayed where it was at. But that was a long time ago. That was like right when I first got it. But yeah, I would recommend getting an iPhone if you don't. Just for compatibility reasons. I would say that Apple products are probably the best. A lot of people say that the DJI Go app is designed for Apple products, but I don't think there's... I'm out of beer. Let's see what else we got in the stock. Oh, in the fridge. Stella? We can do a Stella. It's a big guy. A little bit bigger. A little bit bigger. Well, that's pretty good. And yeah, that was my ring that I opened that with. You know, you have a tungsten carbide ring. Super cheap on Amazon, $26. Whole nother video that I could do. But I've opened thousands of beers that way. Next thing. Protection. Protection, protection, protection. Use protection! This comes with the drone. Alright, you have a gimbal lock, so it locks up, and then you have a gimbal cover. Use this. They sell this alone on Amazon.com. So if yours breaks like mine did the first time, go on Amazon.com, get another one. I think it was under $10. I fully believe this is why this drone is still fully functional. I have traveled so much with this. I've thrown it in a backpack. Rode around on an ATV, stopped, got footage, unfolded it, folded it, whatever. I always recommend using the protection that this comes with. Just remember, before you even power it on, gimbal cover, gimbal lock, power up. That's simple. I can't tell you how many times I've powered this thing up with all that still on, and then the gimbal wants to calibrate and do its thing, and it's locked. Probably not good for it. A second thing that I'm going to go ahead and pull out for you is a case. Now you can go ahead and spend some money on a case. Now I just have a standard Pelican case you can get off Amazon, you can get from wherever, but this is what I use. And I literally threw the drone in here, threw this in my hockey bag, and went to foreign countries. And was able to fly, and it's still in one piece. Now, I was sitting in the plane, and I saw the dude throwing my bag around, and it was protected. That's why it still works. Now, that's an extreme. I've seen that there's a lot of little cases you can get that fit this specifically. If I could go back in time, I probably would have just bought it right away. But I had that on hand, so I just decided to use that and make it my own. Another recommendation that I have is, if you're looking to buy your first drone, don't buy this. I'm going to tell you a small story. I had a 4-day weekend off work, and I decided that I was going to buy my kid a trampoline. So I went to Toys R Us, bought the trampoline. I saw this Sky Viper. I have a review of it. Sky Viper, whatever, 2400. And it had goggles like this and a drone. And I was like, holy crap, I'm going to get that. I'm going to have some fun with it this weekend. And it was great. For $80, you know, it was a Wi-Fi connection. It was great. And then I moved up to the Sky Viper, you know, God, I forgot the name. But it was like $200 and something. I think it was a piece of junk. I have a review on that as well. And then I got the Hubsan H501S, and that thing is freaking awesome. I highly recommend the Hubsan H501S. And then I got this thing. So I had been flying for a few months before I got this. Like, do not buy this right away and expect to be able to fly it, not crash it. Now, granted, this is very hard to crash. It's got cameras on the front. It's got cameras on the bottom. That's going to help you out big time. And I found this to be highly, highly reliable. Go out and get yourself a toy. Learn the mechanics, you know, learn your yaw, learn your elevation, learn everything. And then go ahead and spend some money on this, because you don't want to spend $1,000 on this and crash into the side of a house, you know, flying backwards or something like that, or running it into a tree or something like that, crashing into water. Go ahead and start small. Another thing to talk about that I forgot to mention earlier is memory cards. So a lot of people have posted that when they've put over a 64 gigabyte memory card that the drone acts goofy. I have multiple 64s, multiple 32s, and multiple 16 and 8, and even a 1 that I had laying around the house. None of them have given me any issues. Not one time. However, what I do is I reformat the card before I fly every single time. I saw that on a review, God, 8 months ago or so. So I will always reformat the card before I start flying, because the last thing I want to happen is I fly around, get all my footage, and for whatever reason the thing's corrupted. Now I could see that there might be issues with SD cards. It's not a computer. The thing flies, it takes 4K footage, it does a bunch of awesome stuff. However, if you're going to have a 128 gigabyte freaking SD card on there with 89 gigabytes of storage used, you might have some problems. The thing's not going to be able to like rewrite and compute and work around all the data that is already existing on that SD card. So I would highly recommend, the sweet spot is a 32 gigabyte SD card. Go ahead, use that, reformat it before you do stuff. Okay, so I know that I've mentioned the aerial photography company that I have multiple times, and I realize that I haven't even talked about it. So what I have here are some business cards, and I am going to make a whole blog or a vlog about this, but it is called Beaten Aerial Photography. I've got all the stuff, you know, you got your Instagram, Facebook, and all that. I did start it, and it was because of this drone. I enjoyed flying it so much that I thought that maybe I could get paid to do it. And sure enough, I went out and got my Part 107, which I'll make another vlog on that. So that's 2 videos that I owe you guys. Oh my god, it's so nice that this air has been flowing, I'll tell you what. Alright, so let's wrap this video up. Let's wrap it up. Not ramp it up, wrap it up. I know what you were thinking. I'm about to get crazy. Alright, if you guys have any questions, go ahead, comment. I'm pretty good about responding to those. Probably within 24 hours is typically what I try and stay within. So if you have any questions, comments, complaints, gripes, go ahead, throw it on there and I'll address them all, I promise. Like, subscribe, and share. I've got like 60 subscribers on YouTube. I'm up to like 20,000 views. It's fantastic. Which is very small. And trust me, believe me, I know more than anybody. Very small. It's like nothing. But your likes, your subscribes, your comments, your shares motivates me a little bit more. Like, I've got a lot to say. Like I said, I've got the Part 107 video I want to do. How I got that, how I obtained it, how I passed it, how I studied for it, everything. But honestly, that is it. That's all that I have for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish this beer as I upload all the footage onto the computer. But that is pretty much it. I mean, if you have any questions, just go ahead and hit me up. But I am very, very pleased. If I could say, you know, a few more things to sum everything up, very pleased with this drone. DJI, is an amazing company. You know, I think that they have a technology that everybody's chasing after, and I would definitely buy their products. In the drone world, this is an Apple product. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show like 2 minutes of video that I've taken with this thing. All the way from New York to freaking Florida. Enjoy.
Every night I hope and pray a dream lover will come my way, a girl to hold in my arms and know the magic of her charms. 'Cause I want a girl to call my own. I want a dream lover so I don't have to dream alone. Come my way, a girl to hold in my arms and know the magic of her charms. 'Cause I want a girl to call my own. I want a dream lover so I don't have to dream alone.
Absolutely would 100% recommend this drone. The DJI Mavic Pro is the way to go. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Dino Beaton signing off. Adios. It's been great.